We begin with breaking news at 4 o'clock. Two Guilford County schools have confirmed cases of coronavirus. Vandalia Elementary School and Washington Montessori closed today. Guilford County officials say one person at each school tested positive for the virus. Schools will stay closed while they're being deep cleaned. More on that coming up later on. Good afternoon. Welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton, Tahisha Moist, and Christian Morgan, and to give us the forecast later on. Of course, this is an interactive show. We want to talk to you throughout. Join our conversation and use our hashtag 4 to 5.
Being safe means being smart and making sure others around you are doing the same.
And also developing this afternoon, North Carolina will move into phase 3 of reopening starting this Friday. Governor Roy Cooper says the state's top priority is still getting students back into classrooms.
He adds our stability is still fragile as winter and flu season approach. Now, the key metrics show that more people are going to the hospital for coronavirus symptoms. The new case trajectory is leveling but still high. The state has been at or below 5% of positive tests, and State Health Secretary Mandy Cohen says testing for the virus is up, but more testing needs to be done.
So here's what will change under phase 3. Governor Cooper already announced last week that those large outdoor venues can seat more than 10,000 people. Can reopen at 7% capacity. But the new information we got this afternoon includes small outdoor venues. They can reopen at 30% capacity. Movie theaters can also open at 30% capacity, and bars can reopen, but only for outdoor seating, and that as well is 30% capacity. Outdoor amusement parks will be able to reopen with 30% of patrons. Mass gathering limits are the same: 25 people allowed indoors, 50 people outside, and the alcohol sales curfew is now extended through October 23rd.
President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden are back on the campaign trail today after last night's first presidential debate. Now, there was a lot of back and forth between the two candidates, talking over each other, but they did manage to address some topics. They covered the Supreme Court nomination, coronavirus response, and the economy. President Trump said many want to see schools open, while Biden argued the nation cannot fix the economy without fixing the coronavirus crisis. The Presidential Debate Commission says it'll make changes to future debate formats to avoid a repeat of last night's chaotic debate. Now, this year's election is important for many across the nation, with the current political climate causing voter turnout to skyrocket compared to elections of years past. So far, more than 1 million people have already voted. According to the U.S. Election Project, only 10,000 had voted this time in 2016. That's a nearly 13,000% increase in the number of voters. Now, the numbers are based on only 15 states, including here in North Carolina. A University of Florida political science professor says those early voting numbers are up because of coronavirus, a high interest in this year's election, and expanded early voting laws across states. Back here in the Triad, Greensboro Transit Authority is expanding part of its services as part of the Move to the Polls campaign. Now, voters can now register to vote through GTA. You can pick up voter registration forms at either the Greensboro Bus Depot or at the GTA administrative offices on West Meadowview Road. You can complete those forms on site, or you can take them home with you. Customer service agents or volunteers are collecting voter registration forms and taking them to the Guilford County Board of Elections. They'll be collecting forms up until October 9th. Don't forget, GTA is also providing free rides to the polls on Election Day.
Well, we know the stakes are high this election season, so you have to beware of scammers who are trying to take advantage of people here. Different organizations are sending out text, you may have received this, and social media messages as well, encouraging voting, but you have to be careful what you're clicking on here. So the BBC, when we ask them, they say it's best not to click on any links that are sent to you. Scammers use malware embedded in those links to access all your private information. The FBI warns that some scammers are creating actual fake election sites. You can protect yourself by not donating any money over the phone. Don't trust caller ID either. Keep private information as private as you can.
Let's take a look now at your 4 to 5 roundup. Kentucky's Attorney General Daniel Cameron asked to delay the release of the grand jury recordings of the Breonna Taylor investigation. A judge told his office that they had to edit out any personal identification in the recording, and Cameron's office says that will take some time. According to the Attorney General, the recording is more than 20 hours long, so his office is filing for a week-long extension to edit it. Cameron says releasing the recordings will address the legal complaint of an anonymous grand juror who says they're searching for both truth and transparency. Texas officials say it could take 2 to 3 months to get rid of a brain-eating amoeba found in Lake Jackson's water. 6-year-old Josiah McIntyre died earlier this month after he was infected with the parasite. Officials say it is rare to be infected with an amoeba. According to the Texas Commission of Environmental Quality, the process of boiling the water could take 2 to 3 weeks, and then chlorine levels have to be raised to burn off the entire system and kill amoeba. That could take an additional 60 days. The governor of Texas and other officials say the water around that area is safe.
I don't want to pull any punches or mince any words on this. This was nothing short of an attempt to murder our police officers yesterday. It's as simple.
It is as simple as that. Strong words from the interim High Point police chief today after someone shot at one of his officers on Tuesday morning. Chief Jonathan Stroud says he is worried what the suspects would have done to a citizen. Nacori Rogers is in custody in relation to the incident that unfolded near Johnson Street, but 2 people are still on the run. Police are now looking for those 2 people. They believe they're driving a 2010 black Subaru Legacy that they stole from the neighborhood. This all started around 5:45 Tuesday morning. Officers were called to the area after people reported seeing men trying to break into cars. Police say they tried to get inside 41 cars and even broke into a house to steal car keys. They say they got away with guns, debit and credit cards, checks, and clothes. No one has been charged with shooting at the officer, but the police chief says his officers returned fire. Chief Stroud says the suspects came from Durham to commit the crimes and were in a car stolen from Raleigh. All of this is still under investigation.
Woo-wee! I know Eric Chilton and Maddie Gardner are going to like this. It's a perfect day for a barbecue sandwich and a cheer wine. Absolutely gorgeous. Across the triad, find a cloud in the sky. That's my challenge to you today. You'll have a tough time doing it. Temperature-wise, very comfortable in the mid and upper 60s all across the area. 68 in Greensboro, 69 in Winston, 70 in High Point and Lexington. And take a look at these dew points. Just how dry, how comfortable the air is. Dew points down in the 40s. That's that really comfortable, crisp air that you see. And you can see that front well off to the east that brought us the rain and storms yesterday, well away from us. We're going to have one more warm day tomorrow because we're going to have a secondary front that moves in tomorrow and heading into Friday. That's going to cool us down and dry us out even more as we head into the weekend. So tonight, mostly clear skies. We'll be down in the lower 50s for overnight lows. For your Thursday, a little bit warmer, temperatures in the mid and upper 70s, and I think most of us stay dry, but there's just a low chance, about a 20% chance, that we get a stray shower in the evening and early around dinner time tomorrow as that front slides through. After that, it's dry, cool, and comfortable as we head into your fall weekend. We'll dive into your full 7-day forecast, how long the fall weather is going to stick around, and we'll also take a look at that fall foliage report. If you're looking to see the fall colors, we'll tell you where they're peaking at right now, coming up.
When it's your birthday, you're usually thinking about yourself, right? But a triad teenager is using that day to give back to others. Zoe Mitchell turned 17 on Saturday, and instead of birthday gifts, she's asking for folks to donate $17 to help replenish the food bank at her church, Jamestown Presbyterian.
I decided this year, I was like, I need to do something that's gonna help other people and not just help myself. I talked to my mom about this, and she kind of was helping me work through some ideas that would be good for me to help and reach out into the community.
Checks can be made out to the church. You can even donate online by going to jamestownpres.org. Pres is with a Z, not an S. And go to the Give Online tab and choose Outreach, Zoe's project, in the Fund drop-down menu. Now, Zoe is hoping to raise $1,700 or that much worth of non-perishable food. So on Saturday afternoon, you can bring your food and or money directly to the church. Zoe and her family will be there with cupcakes from 12 to 2.
Well, opening a bakery in the middle of a pandemic comes with some reservations, but the owners of Oh Goodness Bakery say all of that went away on opening day when they sold out of their baked goods in just 4 hours. The new shop in downtown Greensboro bakes keto-friendly and gluten-free treats. Owner Jesse Westlink says they spent 3 days baking everything for day one, and now they need some time to restock. That means they'll be closed the rest of the week, but will reopen Saturday with some changes. They launched a new online ordering platform today so people can pre-order, and they'll only be open twice a week. Oh Goodness says the bakery's name is a good representation of how they're feeling.
It's the oh goodness, that's not what we really meant by the name, but yeah, that was our reaction. We were in a little bit of shock.
Yeah, Westlink says they had customers coming from across the Triad yesterday, and they want to make sure they have enough for when everyone comes back and they're open again this weekend. He says they're already selling out of baked goods placed online for pickup on Saturday. More of the 4 to 5 is coming up right after this break. Join our conversation on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. In case you missed it, the first of 3 presidential debates unfolded last night. Early estimates say that 29 million people watched the debate, but will they watch the second and third meetups of the candidates? I asked you if you were on Facebook. Let's take a look at what you had to say this afternoon. Terry Lipford said only if they changed the format, maybe put each of them in a booth and only turn the mic on for the one that has the floor. A lot of talking over each other last night, certainly. Pat Young-Rudolph says, I was annoyed at the first question, lost control and off topic, but yes, I will watch. Daniel Williams says, yes, just for a good laugh. It's like watching SNL or Springer. Selena says she's only watching the vice presidential one. No more of this. And Debbie Shore-Pegram says, no, not with this format. I had to quit watching because of the bickering. It got on my nerves. So guys, 90 minutes. For the most part, it did seem like the candidates were arguing to have the floor there. So we'll see. I know that the debate committee is making some changes and putting some tools in place to hopefully keep it a little bit more organized next time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Maddie. First off, has anybody checked on Chris Wallace today? That's somebody who needed an extra large coffee after last night. But, I probably will watch the second debate. We've talked about this committee who puts the structure together, working on some new guidelines. So it will be interesting to see if those actually do work. But yeah, I'll probably watch the second one. And, if people were going into this last night to try to decide on what candidate to vote for, I think they might have left more undecided than when they started.
Yeah. Honestly, I just left that angry because I wanted to hear something, valid from both of them, and they were just shouting over each other and calling each other names. Felt like I was in the schoolyard again. Now, here's what I will say about the next debate. They need to format it like the Zoom meeting, and maybe the moderator can turn on the mics on and off, and then maybe we won't hear them shouting over each other.
That's exactly what I was saying, is that I can't wait to see from a tech standpoint. It's like they're going to have to put them in soundproof booths with microphones in there that they can control. I mean, it's amazing what they're going to have to do to kind of get this wrangled in.
Well, it is coming up in a week, so we'll see what happens and what they can throw together in the next few days. All right, more of the 4 to 5 is coming up right after this. As always, join our conversation. What'd you think about last night's debate? Use the hashtag 4 to 5.
So we all know that our zoo in North Carolina is one of the best in the world, and that's not a matter of opinion. It's actually been ranked as such in the past. Well, now they have another accolade to their name. This is really cool. They are the subject of a Nat Geo Wild series, an 8-part series that debuts at the end of this month. I spoke with curator Jennifer Ireland to get all the details.
This is the North Carolina Zoo.
Well, Jennifer, this had to be exciting news. It's so cool that you guys get to be on a national cable network. So tell us about what they did when they came to the zoo.
Well, I would say first cool, but yeah, a little intimidating. Millions of people are going to see us, right? But yeah, this company came in. They were really interested in our zoo being one of the largest zoos and of course one of the best zoos in the country and the world. So they came in, they followed our keepers around, they followed our vet teams around, just so they could really capture what it is that we do every day, and they could share it with the world, so people can get a real insider's view of the zoo world.
So I know you can't tell us specifics, but moments maybe, or how did it transpire?
Well, yeah, I can't tell specifics. You're not going to watch, right? If you know what's going to happen. So they captured what we do. They captured what happens. And things that happen in zoos are births. Things that happen in zoos are deaths. Breakthroughs with training, breakthroughs with social interaction, highs and lows every day, with what's going on. So they captured everything, what we do. And hopefully it gives everyone a real intimate view into our world.
And that's kind of what you hope for the end result, right? I mean, what do you want people to take away from this?
I really want people to understand what it is that we do. And I think everyone will just be blown away when they see how passionate and dedicated and caring our staff is, and how much it means to them to come to work every day to take care of these animals, and how this is a job for the heart and not for the pocketbook. And I think people will really just not only make connections with our animals, but make connections with our staff and just be really impressed with what they do.
That's really cool. Best of luck. We can't wait to watch this. All of us will be watching, Jennifer.
Oh, great. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It really looks like it's going to be fabulous. And she did say there are a lot of emotional moments in there. Some of the elements that we can't really give away. You really get to know these people and the animals up close. You can find more about this on our website. Just look for this story on WFNYnews2.com.
Fall is here, which means winter is just around the corner, and bears are getting ready for hibernation just in time for Fat Bear Week. Yeah, that's apparently a thing. The annual competition started yesterday, so you can decide which brown bear at an Alaska National Park is most ready for winter. Bears face off in a single elimination tournament, and you can vote each day from noon to 10 p.m. There are also live bear cams you can watch before casting your vote, so you're a little more informed, right? So the final vote will be October 6th. So it seems a little voyeuristic to look at this live live cam, you're like, okay, this bear looks the fattest. I think I'll vote for this one. Let's see, looking at this list, Grazer, that's one of the names. Let's see if Grazer will win.
He's got to
So
graze. So he
I
can
called it up
hibernate.
during the commercial break, and I've been watching them right now. It's pretty amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's admirable to choose a fat bear. They have to get fat so they can sleep all winter. And honestly, it's not a bad idea. I might have to do the same thing this year.
The hibernate?
Yes, just hibernate.
this
Sleep
the,
through the whole thing.
Is this the
Okay,
new version
I'll wake
of the
you
Kentucky
up
Derby?
later.
In a way, are we going to start betting on bears?
Oh, no, you don't bet on him, you vote for him, Christian.
Oh, well, you can bet on them if you want to work out your own system, Morgan.
There's something seriously wrong with me.
No, you're good. You give a great forecast. So you got that going.
Yeah, we do have the nice weather. Let's talk about that. A beautiful day across the Triad. If you like fall weather, this is just picture perfect. Hard to find a cloud in the sky today. That's my challenge to you. And temperatures are in the 60s. Very comfortable, very dry air that we've been waiting on so patiently. Tonight we'll be dropping down into the low 50s under mostly clear skies. Tomorrow will be another warm day, back into the mid-70s as another front gets closer to us. Most of us stay dry, but might be able to squeeze out a stray shower in the afternoon. And speaking of that cooler air, remember we had a blast of fall just a couple weeks ago. That's already started some color changes as far as the leaves go, especially in the higher peaks of the mountains. But even so, ever so slightly here in the Triad, maybe you've noticed some of the tops of the trees are starting to get a little bit of color in them. And I've had a lot of questions about this over the last several days since it is getting cooler. Normally it goes like this. Of course, the colors peak first in those higher elevations, but I think with the cooler weather and more of it on the way this weekend, we might be running a little bit ahead of schedule. So we might start to see some good color in the middle of October as opposed to late October here in the Triad. Of course, last year was a totally different story when we had that heat wave. We had 90s in October. That doesn't look to be the case this year, so we should have some nice fall colors to look at. One more warm day tomorrow in the 70s, and then really nice fall weather to end the week. And into the weekend, you'll need to break out the sweaters and the light jackets with those morning lows in the 40s, comfortable in the afternoons in the 60s.
Hey, mic check 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 5 7 2. That's confusing.
Hello, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Mic check.
Hey there, checking it before you reckon it. Yes.
Why did I say that I wanted to bet on bears? Did I say that? Wow. Might check.
Yep. Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie.
good afternoon and welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Maddie Gardner here with Eric Chilton, Taisha Moise, and Christian Morgan, who are all working from home and looking lovely in their individual monitors this afternoon, if I do say so myself. By the way, this is an interactive show. What does that mean? It means we want to talk to you, not just at you. So join our conversation on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We want to hear what you have to say about the news of the day. Just use our hashtag 4 to 5.
North Carolina moves into phase 3 starting this Friday at 5 o'clock. Now, Governor Roy Cooper says the state's stability is still fragile, though, as winter and flu season approaches.
Our children can go back to school, and our economy can fully rebuild when we're safe, and people have confidence that they can stay healthy.
So here's what changes under phase 3. The governor already announced the reopening of large outdoor venues, which can sit 10,000 people, and they can hold 7% of that capacity. Well, now small outdoor venues can reopen at 30%. Movie theaters can reopen at 30% capacity, and this refers to each screening room. Bars can open, but only for outdoor seating at 30% capacity. Outdoor amusement parks can open at 30% capacity, but the mass gathering limit remains the same. So 25 people allowed indoors and 50 people allowed outdoors. Alcohol sales curfew has been extended until October 23rd. Now, you have 2 upcoming chances to get a free coronavirus test in Randolph County. You can get one Saturday at Central Gym on Frank Street. No appointment necessary. Then on Tuesday at Randolph County Public Health, you will need an appointment for this one. Test results should be back in 3 days or less. You can also get a rapid blood antibody test for $50. If you have questions, just call the number on your screen.
Well, according to CBS polls about the first presidential debate last night, people consider Democratic nominee Joe Biden the winner, but you can see that poll was very close. 48% of people chose Biden and 41% went with President Trump. They also asked people about the tone of the debate, and 83% said it was negative. Only 17% said positive. The debate left 69% of people annoyed. It left 19% of people pessimistic. Only 17% of the people polled said they felt informed after the debate.
Billionaires have made another $300 billion because of his profligate tax proposal, and he only focused on the market.
All right, so last night during the debate, Democratic nominee Joe Biden said we are in a K-shaped recovery. President Donald Trump says no, we're in a V-shaped economic recovery during the pandemic.
Now, these 2 terms are terms typically used by economists. So what do those terms mean? Well, a V-shaped economy follows a rapid decline followed by a rapid bounce back in the economy. Now, a K-shape means some parts of the economy recovered, but others did not. In the case of the coronavirus, the stock market has recovered since the start of the pandemic, but many Americans are still unemployed. Other terms also used include U-shaped, W, L, or J-shaped. You can find those definitions on our website. In the meantime, the second presidential debate is scheduled for October 15th and the third debate October 22nd. The Presidential Debate Commission says it'll make changes to future debate formats to avoid a repeat of the chaotic first debate. And Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris and Vice President Mike Pence will also face off. The vice presidential debate is Wednesday, October 7th.
Let's take a look now at your 4 to 5 roundup. New York City will start fining people for not wearing a mask. Mayor Bill de Blasio says anyone who is not wearing a face mask will be offered one, and if they refuse to comply, they will be fined. No additional details were released on how much that fine is, but this comes as the positive coronavirus test rate in the city spiked to about 3% for the first time in months. Officials say public schools will close if the 7-day average climbs even higher. Technology used in airports could be one way for schools to check the temperatures of students to help prevent the spread of the virus. We're talking about thermal imaging. A device called Fever is similar to other temperature gauging technology, but it's marketed as more portable. It's currently at work in about 50 school districts in Texas. If you have a skin temperature that's above 98 degrees, which is the equivalent of a 100.4 body temperature, it'll flash up a red box. School administrators say this technology reduces the wait times for temperature checks at schools, and it makes sure social distancing can happen. The upcoming Pittsburgh Steelers and Tennessee Titans football game is now postponed. It was originally scheduled for Sunday at 1 o'clock, but the NFL is rescheduling the game to allow additional time for more daily COVID-19 testing for the health and safety of players, coaches, and game day personnel. The NFL says they will release details on a new game date and time as soon as possible.
Well, North Carolina A&T is partnering with Blue Cross Blue Shield in North Carolina. This is to support communities and schools of Greater Greensboro by feeding the kids. Great work they're doing here. They're prepared by Painted Plate Catering. About 200 meals per week are being donated to kids over the next 6 weeks. They're handing them out on Wednesdays at 3 different locations. Windsor, Warnersville, and Peeler Community Rec Centers are all hosting meal handouts. This runs through the end of October.
All right, so now to a story you don't want to miss out of Pennsylvania. A 5-year-old is being hailed a hero after he used an Amazon Alexa to save his mother. Now, Natalie Neal says that she got a call from her grandson, Tyrion. Initially, she thought he was laughing on the call, but it turns out he was crying. Tyrion said he couldn't wake up his mother. Turned out his mother was having a seizure and Tyrion was the only other person home. Neal said she then called 911. Now, a week before the seizure, Neal said she decided on a whim to program Alexa so that Tyrion, her grandson, could call her whenever he wanted. Friends and family are now calling him a hero, and Tyrion said he hopes to be a police officer or a firefighter when he grows up, which I think is just fitting, you know, always taking care of others and saving people, starting at a young age at 5 years old. And thank goodness his grandmother just decided to install that, because who knows what could have happened.
Right, and we've all heard the stories of the kids asking their Alexas or their Googles to order things from the internet, like a new playhouse or a Barbie, but this is a little bit different. This is really awesome. Chilton, you say your kids know how to use these devices.
Yeah, it was interesting. One time, Tyler, my 10-year-old, walked down to see our neighbor's son, and he went in the garage, and the neighbor was backing out and shut the garage and locked him in the garage. And the door to inside the house was closed, but just on a whim, they had their Alexa, I'll say in case people at home have theirs out. They had that in the garage, and he used it to call my wife and come down there and get it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known where he was, and it was in the middle of summer, really hot.
That's really smart that he knew to do that. And he just knew it was in the house.
Yep.
Amazing stuff. Well, it's certainly not too hot out there today, that's for sure, Christian. It's a very nice fall weather.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it is a gorgeous day to be outside. If you like fall, pretty much the picture perfect day. Temperatures very comfortable, sitting in the upper 60s to near 70, 68 in Greensboro, 69 in Winston-Salem, 70 in High Point and Lexington. You can see well off to the east, that front that brought us the rain and the storms, busy day of weather yesterday, moved away from us. We have weak high pressure in control of our weather today, but there's now a secondary front behind this one that's going to move through tomorrow. Not expecting much rain with this one. There's not a whole lot of moisture with it. We may be able to squeeze out a stray shower in the afternoon and evening, but I think most of us stay dry. And this is going to bring us an even cooler push of fall air as we head into the end of the week and into the weekend. It will be sweater weather for sure. Tonight, mostly clear skies will drop down into the lower 50s for overnight lows. Pretty much the same story for our western counties and foothills. There could be some mid and upper 40s, though, in some of those higher peaks or those places that are generally just a bit cooler. Your Thursday, not a bad day at all. A bit warmer. We'll be in the 70s tomorrow afternoon. Watching for a stray shower or storm. Otherwise, pretty much a mix of sun and clouds tomorrow afternoon. And again, I think most of us stay dry. Tomorrow is the last warm day for a while. Like I said, break out the sweaters, break out the light jacket. It will be comfortable fall weather for the rest of the week and heading into the weekend with afternoon highs in the 60s, morning lows in the 40s again.
Oh, those lovely cha-chings, right? When you hear a cha-ching, you know what it means, don't you?
No, I hope it means that I'm getting some money.
Yeah, as a father of 4, it means somebody wants money.
So true, right? I want to see what you, the 4 to 5 peeps, use to give someone money, and then what you peeps use to give people money. So, Maddie, what do?
I use Venmo or like another app to send money.
Okay, Chilton?
That's me, Venmo all the way.
Do you Venmo your children when they want money?
No, not the kids, because there's no account for, well, there is an account for them, but they don't know yet because they're too little. My teenagers, yes.
Yes, okay. So, and I'm asking all this because recently we had a High Point mom and daughter who used the Cash App, but the daughter then got a message on her Cash App that she didn't tell her mom about.
They requested money. She thought someone was sending her money, so she allowed the $50 to be taken from her account. And when she realized that it was taken, not given, she asked them about it, and that's when they said she needed to send more money. It said in order for her to get the money, she had to send money. Well, being 17, she didn't realize that it sounded too good to be true.
Yeah, it's always the giveaway, right? When someone tells you that you need to give money to something to get some money. But in all parental lessons, Chilton, scams, I'm sure, are not on your list.
No, never would have thought that, and I mean, that never crossed my mind ever.
Absolutely. I almost hate to ask this, but is there anything that Who Wants to Know can do to get that money back?
Ooh, no, we cannot get that money back. The cops cannot get that money back. What you can do is you can make a complaint, right? But what we're also going to do is we're going to show you how a setting on the daughter's phone can keep you from having your money being taken away in that very same way, and that's coming up at 5 o'clock. So good lesson for all of us. All right, tonight on Who Wants to Know at 5:30. Are you looking for a job? Maybe you're thinking about changing careers, wondering how to get the best way to get your name out there. Well, we have a career coach ready to answer your questions. You can text your questions 336-379-5775.
And before we head to break, we want to honor the life of Helen Reedy, known for the feminist anthem, I Am Woman. The 1971 version of I Don't Know How to Love Him launched her career into a decade-long stretch of top 40 hits. I Am Woman is her biggest hit, and it's used in films and TV shows. She said the song is the reason she stepped out of the spotlight, saying she once saw herself in a history book listed as a feminist icon. She explained she couldn't top that title, so she retired. She was 78 years old.
Well, if you're like me, you miss live concerts, indoor or outdoor, just miss it altogether. Well, there's something happening over at the fairgrounds. This may be just the thing for all of us live music lovers out there. I spoke with the organizer, Chris King, about the new drive-in concert series. Chris, well, the drive-in seems to be the answer to everything these days. So tell me about this drive-in concert series. I know this is kind of new ground for your present company because you guys have been doing a lot of movies lately.
Yeah, we have. You know, we started this project more as a drive-in movie project, but we've always kind of had in the back of our mind that we wanted to provide live entertainment when that opportunity arose.
So tell me what this will look like when people show up to a concert.
We'll have the venue set up in different tiers. The very front tier will be a VIP tier that will literally, the cars will be set up right in front of the stage. Everyone will have access to see the stage, and we have two large 40-foot by 25-foot video screens. So in addition to the show being live, we'll also be projecting the show on the video screens. So people will come in their vehicles. It'll be a drive-in setup. They'll be able to see the artist on the stage, and they'll be able to watch a closer view of the artist on the video screens.
Talk about the lineup here, and how long will this concert series go?
We're going to kick off the concert series on October the 23rd as a Friday with the Marcus King Band. The Marcus King Band is one of the hottest touring acts out there today. And we are actively right now speaking with other acts about filling both some upcoming dates in October. And right now we're looking at the first 2 weeks of November.
Well, this is awesome, man. I'm a big live music lover, so thank you for what you're doing, and we'll be watching.
I appreciate it. We look forward to seeing everybody out there. We're looking forward to a really great series of live concerts.
It looks like we lost Chilton's audio again. Good thing he's talking about concerts. Maybe he'll figure out a way to fix that for us. But let's take a look at what you had to say on his Facebook page today. He asked you what you're going to miss most about the fair. And Mary McNeely Gann said, I will miss all the food that is totally bad for me, but oh so delicious. And Mary, check out our website because you can get some of that fair food coming up tomorrow in Winston-Salem. Kathy said, watching people and eating fair food. Teresa Galloway said, fried Oreos. And Teresa, I've made them at home before. It's possible, not quite the same, but pretty good. Larry Miller said, eating that roasted corn on the cob as soon as you enter the gate. My mouth is watering. And Francine Apollo said she goes for the people watching. Melody said, the animals. So Tahisha, I know we can't go to the fair this year, but I would like something fried, and I might have to stop by the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. The Carolina Classic Fair is doing a fair food drive-in, and it starts tomorrow, and you can get funnel cakes, which is why I go to the fair.
Well, if you go, then I won't need to go, and you can go for me, and I can just enjoy the food, the least amount of work possible. I think it's funny, the comment about the animals and the people watching. Nah, it's all about the food. All about the food. It's like the one day, or if you go multiple times, you know, the few times where you just, you know, calories don't count. You just eat the fried food, you know it tastes good, and you move on with your life.
Absolutely. I love fried Oreos. I love funnel cakes. I love elephant ears. If you haven't caught on yet, if there's batter on it and it's golden brown, that's my thing.
And just make some pumpkin spice in there too, and that's your thing too.
I feel like I've been labeled the pumpkin spice girl. I actually don't even drink pumpkin spice flavored coffee. I just like pumpkin baked goods. And I stood up for the PSL drinkers. But that's okay.
That's what
I'll
it is.
take on the burden this year. Deep fried pumpkin spice something. I'd buy it. What do you think? Best part of the fair, favorite fried fair food? You know what to do. Comment on our live stream. Use our hashtag 4 to 5.
Hi there. Excuse me. Some pumpkin spice something. How about pumpkin spice freshly fried donut? Pumpkin spice yumminess.
So, you know, every day is a national day this, international day that. Well, today is International Podcast Day. So in honor of that day, I wanted to know what your favorite podcast is. I asked you all to chime in on Facebook. Let's read a few of your comments today. Alyssa Jimenez says, I listen to NPR's Up First for quick morning news and lots of others, but lately a favorite is Here's What You Do. Jansen Lee wrote, well, I'm a little biased towards the weekly pop-up podcasts. He is on that podcast, but otherwise Talking Sopranos, The Rewatchables, Office Ladies, and How Did This Get Made? Princess Johnson writes, wow, I've not really gotten into podcasts. I listen when my friends or favorite artists are in them, though, LOL. And Brianna Jimenez, must be related to Alyssa, says, some of my favorites are Truth's Table, Here's What You Do, Up and Vanish, NPR's Code Switch, love that one, and Living with the Moons podcast. Now, I am a podcast gal through and through. I listen to maybe 2 or 3 podcasts every morning. Wow. And then as I'm puttering around the house, I'll have them on in the background as well.
Yeah, I do love podcasts, especially if I'm going on a long road trip. Now, someone mentioned Up and Vanished. That's a really good one. It is true crime if you're into that sort of thing. I do like listening to true crime podcasts because there's a little bit of journalism that goes into that. And obviously, I love that. I also love Office Ladies. If you're a fan of The Office, I recommend that one. And sometimes I listen to church services as podcasts.
What else would you expect from me other than the fact that I listen to weather podcasts and meteorologists podcast? What else would you expect from me? But I also am into the true crime stuff, Maddie. I love that kind of stuff, and the murder mystery podcasts. Mm-hmm. Those are probably my two favorites that I listen to. Otherwise, you know, I just kind of get my day started with the regular local morning shows on radio. I love that. One time I walked into our little makeup area in the station, and Tahisha had a true crime podcast on. This is when we were all back in the building last year, and it was jarring. So thanks, Tahisha.
Yeah, I have a whole list on my Facebook page if you need a new podcast to listen to.
Coming up on WFMY News 2 at 5 o'clock this afternoon, Governor Roy Cooper announced North Carolina will move into Phase 3 starting this Friday. We're digging into what can reopen, the restrictions, and reaction from businesses eager to welcome back customers. That is next at 5.